Hi everyone, how are you? Hope you're all fine. I'm Tabitha Jane. I know I'm really easy to forget. I've done a few videos, I've been on a few panels. I like to talk about um, myself and my kiddos and what it was like. Do you guys remember me at all? Is there any way you can remember me somewhat, just a little bit? Ah, the shade. They call me the Shade Queen. The fuck, man. I've been called a lot of things, but forgettable, not one of them. But anyway, okay. So, first things first. This is going to be the tea. It's going to be a little mishmash of everything because my head is just not in the game. I kind of explained, but I'm like, okay, I think, oh my God, probably like what? I mean, like 30 years ago was probably the first time that I really hurt my shoulder. And I just kept, every time I'd fall, I would try and pick myself up, with my right arm, or try and stop the fall with my right arm. And it kept like partially dislocating my shoulder. And it just became like one of those things where it was just chronic. And then, I go to some physical therapy for a while to get better, blah, blah, blah. And then the twins and their one next to them, I gave birth to three babies in 3 days. I gave birth to my three youngest in 2 days less than 1 year. So three babies in 363 days. Okay. Now, my baby before the twins, he was also a preemie. So he was my first preemie, in fact, and his older brothers are older. So it was like I had three older ones and triplets, essentially. So everything I had to do was in triplicates. So like feeding, that constant motion of with a spoon, feeding and changing diapers. And then lifting their motherfucking huge ass, heavy ass fucking strollers into the back of my Explorer. And the Explorer itself, pushing up the back thing. And then they had OT, PT, and speech 3 times a week. And so the twins are now going to be 19 at the end of October. And so the strollers, 18, 19 years ago, were not as advanced as this. And so, I was carrying my next one. I'd carry the babies in their carriers, like one on each, and then just kind of nestle him in between those. And then, no one had opened the fucking door for me. So I'm just like, kind of like, okay, let me try and turn myself so I can butt in a door somehow, whatever. But then getting them back in and getting that herkin ass stroller, my shoulder started to hurt so bad. And it was just one of those things. And then my allergies started causing me vertigo. And I kept falling down the stairs from the vertigo. And I was just a mess because I was so tired and everything. And I started getting this tumor, a tumor. Okay, I had carpal tunnel syndrome, and I couldn't just have like regular carpal tunnel with a freaking hurt ass shoulder. The carpal tunnel had to be so advanced that it started growing a tumor on the, I don't think I can show it to you guys right here. I don't think I can show you, I don't know if I can show you the scar without showing me. Let me see. No, that's not gonna work. Oh, see that big ass thing in there? That big ass. Okay, so that was this huge, it was a tumor on, okay, so like the carpal tunnel, your ligaments from the carpal tunnel go up into the arm. So it wasn't even like I could have regular carpal tunnel syndrome. I had to grow a tumor on where the carpal tunnel, where the two things twist in your arm. And so I had this freaking huge ass tumor growing. And I just didn't have time to get it taken out. And then, I see, my husband was in the Navy, so he was at sea all the time. And so I was with the three babies. I had no family to help with, um, no relatives, no friends, nothing. It was just a mess. So I finally had to get the tumor cut out because it was really not allowing me to move my arm. So I got the tumor out, and of course I wasn't able to rest that arm, the right arm. And so I was at the park with the kids, and I was just pushing the swings, and the stitches busted out from the tumor, and the tumor removal. So here I am with this huge wound, and I saw like this one neighbor that had like a fire vehicle, like they were like a supervisor for the fire department or something. So, I grabbed the kids in the stroller and my arm with all the blood, and I went and knocked on the door. I'm like, I'm so sorry. I don't have HIV or anything, but there's some bandages. I just don't know what to do. They're like, oh my God. And they helped me, and then I had to go back to the emergency room and have myself restitched. And so it's just been like this right arm, the thing that's going on, and then my arm itself will get frozen, shoulder. I won't be able to move my arm at all. It's like hanging up clothes, doing laundry, vacuuming, mopping, carrying kids, driving, just everything you use that for, right? So then it'll get all stuck, and I'll go in and do a little bit of physical therapy and get it able to move again and everything. And like 5 years ago, it was really bothering me, but I was really sick with my Crohn's at the same time. So I had MRI, and they didn't really tell me anything that was wrong with it, on my shoulder. They didn't say anything. So then when I said it was bothering me again, this time, because this time my shoulder is totally stuck again. I went to physical therapy last year for a year to get it unstuck, and then it started its shit again. And so I made an appointment to get an MRI, and I was able to get into Patient Portal and look at my last MRI, and it showed that I had this huge rotator cuff tear 5 years ago with bone spurs in it. And so I was like, okay, well, that would have been significant. Why didn't they tell me that? So I went to get this checked out this time, and they ordered a contrast dye in the joint, and they were reading the consent, and they said sometimes they'll use lidocaine or local anesthetic, and blah blah blah. And I was like, oh, okay. So then when the fucker starts procedure and everything, and he's like getting ready for the needle, and he's lining it up, and I was like, okay, so is it gonna be like the bee sting kind of when they put the lidocaine in? And he's like, I don't use lidocaine. I'm like, oh, you just use a local? He's like, I don't do either. I'm like, oh. And he's like, yeah, I'm just really fast. And then boom, motherfucker. It was like he jumped on my shoulder. I'm not even kidding. And it's just like he put the needle right in the freaking shoulder joint, and it just hurts. And so I think that I've been like in a state of shock for 2 days. I'm not even kidding. But I guess it's what they needed to see, because I do have a full thickness rotator cuff tear. And then the bone spurs are in another part of a tendon. And so it's like I've got tendonitis and bursitis and full thickness rotator cuff tear and all that good stuff. So I am going to have to get it fixed. There's never been a time where I've not been able to drive, because I'm driving the kids to school and whatnot, driving, to sports and every other freaking thing because I'm not going to be able to drive, I guess, for like 6 weeks. If a few people could like give me some like advice in the comments about how long this is going to hurt, what the surgery is like for rotator cuff injury, can you guys tell me? Because I'm hearing a lot of mixed reviews that it hurts a lot, and that the surgery itself is going to hurt more than the pain that I'm in right now. It just hurts to like sleep, and even typing and everything. It just hurts like a mother. But anyway, that's enough about me. Okay. So I don't want to be involved in the drama that goes on social media, but it looks like I don't have a choice. I'm getting dragged into some shit I don't want to be in at all. And it disappoints me. Once again, I'm disappointed in another woman not uplifting another woman. Um, I I don't like it. I don't like it at all. I know that you all know what I'm talking about, and I think it's ridiculous. So what had happened was I've been in the game of true crime for a while. Okay. This is my first rodeo. But I used to be stupid enough to use my real name. Because why wouldn't I? Like, what do I have to hide if I can, if I feel like talking, I feel like talking, right? And so, I really, really got attacked. Um, and I knew I wasn't going to win any beauty contests, but I mean, the way that people come for you is just horrible. I mean, of the nicer comments, it was like, people said I'm cross-eyed and I have a face that looked like I've never left the farm. Like, what the fuck? I don't know. And really, really, really bad things about my boobs. And I just really didn't want to be, you know, noticed for my boobs for once in my life, you know. So I decided to put this motherfucking pumpkin up for a while, until, you know, I'm exposed, which invariably will happen. But for right now, I'm just enjoying not having to wake up and you know, and see horrible things said about me and my looks, and you know, and I know I gained weight. I know I need to lose weight, and it's going to be something that, as soon as I show my face, it's just going to be the same things I've dealt with before. And it's going to be like, you know, oh, you're fat and ugly. Okay. All right. Well, fine. You know, I don't, I think I kind of explained this in one of the comments too. I don't wear makeup. I fucking hate makeup. Being that I was pregnant the beginning of my junior year in high school and stuff, I just really didn't ever wear makeup. I mean, I didn't wear makeup my whole junior and senior year. I mean, before that, you know, I was, you know, a wild child, and, you know, had my mullet all spiked up and everything, and wore my blue eyeshadow just like everybody else. But then I was like, and just, you know, through the years, I'm not any good at makeup. Okay. I'm not talented in doing makeup at all. And I think that, you know, probably if I'm just like going to the grocery store or something, people don't, you know, like notice anything about me or whatever. But because I don't wear makeup, then in a photograph or on a live or whatever, you would really be able to tell, because the lights in a camera and stuff are just really cruel. People who wear a lot of makeup look really good on camera. They don't look so good in real life. You know, they've got a lot of problems from wearing makeup. So I just want a little time before I feel like I have to, and then I'll probably feel like I have to put on makeup and stuff. And it's just, people are mean. They're going to say the same old things. And when I was, okay, I had a username before. Okay, I have another channel. It's called, and my username is called The Real Coont of Brookline. And it has this backstory, because there's this walrus of a woman on, and here I go, women being mean to other women, but this one abuses animals and vulnerable people. So I'm not for this woman, and I'm going to tell you why. Because, okay, so it started out because she was bullying one of my friends, and this woman, this walrus of a woman, was bullying my friend into sending her money, opioids, and bullying her into buying from her MLM. Okay? Now, my friend didn't have any money, and she, you know, didn't know how to stop this person from bullying her because this person's so nice, blah, blah, blah. So, I get involved and kind of look at it. And there's something called the Gossip Bakery. I don't know if you guys have ever went down that rabbit hole, but kind of fun. So I went in the Gossip Bakery, and then it's like, okay, all right. When I started kind of saying some things, and some people contacted me and kind of gave me the backstory and how many years she's been doing this. She's a grifter. She's been just exploiting her family and friends and coworkers, everybody, for years upon years. And so the story she was going with is that she was this real estate mogul, this wolf of Wall Street, didn't have to work anymore because of all of her wonderful investments and everything. It was complete bullshit. She malingered her way into getting SSI when people could get SSI quite easily back in the 80s, and is on full welfare. And then got a husband that she met on one of her cruise ships, because she concealed her money that she did have in her mom's account. And so here she is on full welfare and everything, going on all these cruise ships, right? And so this one waiter she hooked up with, and he wanted his green card. She wanted a man. This was her second husband. The first man, I think he ran in like 3 weeks. So she started being really, really aggressive towards him, and was saying disgusting things like she caught him and his sister doing it, and she caught him kissing her sons, and not his lips. And it was also that she could get more money from the state and make sure that he didn't have visitation, because when he had visitation, he could see how his son was being treated, etc., etc. So it was awful. So she was drunk, high, all this stuff on everything, and her mom was covering for her, and her mom is elderly as fuck, was having to bring her groceries, do everything, all this stuff. And so she's cheating everybody, being covered for as an addict. And she is like a child in that she gets these animals, and she tries to get these animals to get her YouTube views. Well, when the animals weren't working, then she started making up things that she had and she doesn't really have. So she started making up that she had fibromyalgia, and she really didn't. But she got a huge following because they thought, well, she looks like the fibromyalgia kind of friend that I'd like to have. Well, it was just a thing, once again, to get more people to send her drugs and whatnot. So she would get she would have like her dogs up and whatnot, and she does not believe in walking dogs. So she gets these dogs encased in the apartment and a cat, and never once has she ever walked the dog. She has them shit and piss all over the apartment floor, which she says, they go on wee-wee pads. They make on wee-wee pads. So we're supposed to imagine that, oh, okay, yeah, right. So anyway, she gets kicked out of these apartments and blah, 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 and her mom pays for all the damages. Her mom stayed until the son turned 18. And then her mom had to peace out because her mom was just being abused by her. And we do believe that there's physical abuse, definitely mental. And it was just sad. And so this woman, like I said, she gets these animals so that she can be YouTube famous. She goes and finds out what somebody else is doing on YouTube and then does it and then tags what those people are doing. So if you see her things, she'll tag like ASMR, big lips, big chewing on things, big food, big bites, so she'd go and get injections in her lips and then eat, because she was very, very obese and thought that because there are feeders and whatnot, she could hop on that train and become famous for being a big person eating. And didn't work. She got weight loss surgery, looked good for a while, but she's still really addicted to food. Got a bird and started, with the bird and trying to get the bird YouTube views and whatnot. And she was on Periscope and everything else like that. But because she was abusing the bird, and because she read something on YouTube about how to stick something down its throat and whatnot, she got deplatformed from Facebook and Periscope and gosh, just every other place. The only place that really would keep her was YouTube. And so she, was really a grifting, and she'd be drunk, driving drunk on lives and pulling her pants down and screeching at her animals and everything. And it was just disgusting. And then she'd cry and beg for, money and bully people in for money. And so a few of us got together, we were really working together on gossip, on the Gossip Bakery, on exposing her, but ultimately it worked best for some of us just to kind of review her stuff. And so she's from Boston, and she was stalking this one guy, Dennis, because Dennis made her have an abortion. And she's very proud of herself for having that abortion, and she'll tell you all about it, because Dennis told her that, you know what, hey, it's too early for us to have this baby. So if you just go ahead and get rid of this one, we can make a new one, okay? And she's like, okay, I'll go do that. Urge. Understood the assignment, had the abortion. And he's like, oh, did you really now? Oh, okay. Yeah, well, peace out. And he married this other chick and went to California, right? Well, supposedly this guy, Dennis, is very rich. And so she thinks that should have been her life. And so she kind of gets her really into TV shows and stuff. So she was really into The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, because in her mind, what the fuck? Because she could have been Dennis's wife, but she got the abortion, right? Okay. So she drags her elderly ass mother, makes her elderly ass mother pay for first class tickets all the way across country, has her mother buy her a new Volkswagen car, has her mother get them both apartments and pay for movers and pay for everything, top of the line and everything. Remember, she's on full ass welfare and SSI. And so she's robbing her mother blind. She's telling her mother that she's using her money, but she's using her mother's money. Big, big problem, right? And the mom has financial conservatorship over her. Nod to Britney Spears kind of thing, right? So the mom has to control all of the money, because if she doesn't, then this one, Lori Beth, will go and spend every fucking cent on nail polish, lip gloss, the perfect lip gloss, blah, blah, blah. It's a mess. So anyway, after she killed Green Bean the bird, it was kind of a thing. So then she got these 2 guinea pigs and was, all over YouTube trying to be the guinea pig expert. Those 2 didn't last, I don't think, 2 weeks. Then she got a lizard, and then she killed that one off in a couple of days and tried to do what parents do when their goldfish dies, put a new goldfish in and say it's the same one. So she got another one, tried to name it the same thing, and killed that one off in a few days. So she tries to just sit there and use them like little bouncy toys and shit, and to get views. Like, oh, she's so cute with this and everything, and she's doing this, and she's treating it like a doll, but it's like, no, it's a freaking reptile. Don't do that. So here is where I got really pissed off, and I started my channel, because she got herself a bearded dragon, and a bearded dragon is a beautiful animal that really requires a certain and specific diet. I had a beardy that had been abused, and I basically gave it hospice care for its last year. That was all I could do. It already had the disease that they get, that's very painful in their joints. And one thing that you do not do with a bearded dragon is you do not feed them mealworms. They do not have the right makeup to properly digest a mealworm. And the exoskeleton on a mealworm is too thick for them. So what happens is they will eat the mealworm, and the mealworm will stay alive inside of them, and the mealworm will then eat them from the inside out, killing the bearded dragon. Okay? So she wants to think she's this expert and everything on it, because she's an expert of everything, right? And so she, started saying about how she knows all this stuff about it and about this beardy and whatnot, and she doesn't, and she's using it like a bouncy toy, taking it out and making it like a Barbie bed, and it just was a mess. And everybody was telling her, do not do mealworms. And even the pet store, this one pet store wouldn't let her take a Beardy because she said she was going to give it that no matter what, mealworms no matter what. And so she, she still did it because she saw somebody get YouTube famous because they had a mukbang, mukbang. She was trying to do that with overeating. So she saw that somebody got YouTube famous by doing mukbangs with their iguana. Okay. So what they did, this person, is they fed their iguana 999 mealworms. Okay. So in her effort to get YouTube famous, she sat there with chopsticks and shoved 1,000 mealworms down Lizzie's throat. Okay. So, what do you know? A few days later, Lizzie's in brumentation. Because bearded dragons go into almost like a hibernation, but it's brumentation. So she was trying to pull that off and all this shit. And no, she had killed him. And that really disturbed me on many levels because it was cruel, and they're bearded dragon. They're sweethearts. So, then that's when I started my channel, and I just, started kind of, adding things up. So it was easier for people to understand and listen to than go on the Gossip Bakery. To go on the Gossip Bakery, it has, like a lot of the deep dives for people who are on YouTube. It's kind of fun. This one's about Lori Beth. So anyway, she had these 2 dogs and the cat, and she has been filmed, physically abusing these animals, and animal control has been called on her and whatnot, and she gets away with it because she moves a lot, and unfortunately, the standard for animal abuse is almost like what it is with child abuse. If you try to, report somebody for this and that, if they don't see it in that moment, they're not going to see it. So there was a pretty good and clear picture of her slamming down her dog named Bella. And so she put Bella to sleep so she couldn't have him taken from her. Bella was supposedly blind and deaf, but she screeched and yelled at Bella all the time. If Bella dared to breathe, she'd have to scream, "Get back in bed, get back in bed. Look at you going in the walls. Get back, get back," and like that kind of shit, right? Nonstop. So she decided she wanted a new puppy. So she knew that her apartment was already on her about animals, so she put Bella down so that she could get a new puppy. And she didn't even stay with Bella to be put down. She reared up in her little clown car, flings the dog out, tells him, "Nope, I don't want to be there for it. I don't want to see it. And then, gets her puppy 3 weeks later to get her through it. Did all this fake crying and all this shit and everything. And it was just disgusting. So, she abuses animals, steals from people, is basically the one-woman opioid crisis. I mean, and she'll be on these lives, and she'll be taking her Ambien, Xanax, Vicodin, and be getting drunk at the same time and talking about it, and claim that she gets all of these legally. And it's very irresponsible. So, like I say, I do troll that woman because it's fucking sick. And until YouTube deplatforms her, I will continue to be one of the trolls for her. She's Jewish, but she is the meanest Jewish person ever because I have Jewish friends and they're not like this. And guess what she says? You want to know what she says? She says she hates Jesus. She hates Jesus so bad that she wants Jesus to come back so that she can euthanize him. No, she wants to kill him herself. And she wants to euthanize everybody who has fibromyalgia. Oh yeah, this woman's vile. Okay, so if you go over to my other channel, it'll say I troll for Jesus. Well, that's why, because I think that's disgusting to say that you want Jesus to come back so you can kill him yourself and to euthanize everybody with fibro. Well, I have it, and she got about 5,000 of her subscribers because she claimed that she had fibro and was playing this, boo-hoo game and everything, so people would send her everything. And she was the biggest MLM hun, literally, okay? Because she got a friend named well, I don't want to bust out this woman because there's really nothing wrong with this woman. This woman sells a lot of MLM things. And basically, she became best friends with LBL and wanted her to be able to go to all of the conventions with her. So she really propped her up. This LBL, Lori Beth, did not actually sell. She bullied people, like bullied people into selling Scentsy and or into buying her Scentsy, and so she could go on these conventions with her BFF, and they went, and it was a mess. So she's always trying to get a job, right? Always trying to act like she has jobs. And so, like, for her interviews, she's got to go on these interviews, and oh God, what's she going to do with her hair for the interview, you know? And oh, she's going to, and it would be like 2 weeks of what she's going to wear to this interview. And if you Google this bitch, you can Google Lori Beth Langer interview outfit. And she'll have like her wigs on and stuff. And I mean, she could really pull herself together with some wigs and some outfits and stuff. She really could. But then, you know, the wig comes off and the attitude comes on, and oh my God. So for this one interview, she brought her Scentsy shit. It was to a car dealership. And so she she brought like a whole ass warmer and everything plugged it in for her interview. And she like would cram like 4 or 5 different Scentsy cubes into any one Scentsy warmer at any time. So she loaded the fucker up and was sitting there telling the person she was interviewing how she was going to sell all of the Scentsy stuff to everybody and the workers and the customers alike, because she was going to get a receptionist job there, and then she was going to sell them all Scentsy's and use her Scentsy there, and how wonderful it was going to be. You know, she didn't get that job, right? And she just couldn't figure out why. So, yeah, this one. So, anyway, the big story here was, how did I start? Okay, so I, got out of everything. I was just getting sick and tired of hearing how fat and ugly and cross-eyed and everything I was every day. And so I had, not really been online for true crime for a while. I was really deep into the Kyron Horman thing and a few other cases I'll tell you about in due time. But so I started I started looking into the case of SW and CW myself. And I was like, okay, what in the double fuck? I don't understand, because if she's a stay-at-home mom, why are the kids in daycare? I'm like, I don't think she understood the assignment. I think that when you're a stay-at-home mom, you're supposed to be a stay-at-home mom with the kids, right? Or is it just like literally the definition, stay-at-home mom? Like you're a mom because you've given birth and you're staying at home. I don't know. Maybe it was literal. Maybe something was lost in translation. I don't know. But I thought it was weird, right? But the story was this and the story was that. And so I was like, okay. So I started writing a few things here and then like I didn't understand. And I would get my ass whooped wherever I would write anything bad, because the canonization and sainthood of SW had already occurred, I guess. And I did not know. And so, and I was like, what the fuck? And so I started listening to some channels, and I love I Swear Kimberly. She used to have the channel, I think it was called Black and White TV. And then it's I Swear Kimberly, one word. And she read the book by Sherilyn Cadle Crap and a couple others. And her humor is just hilarious. And she is very much with the narrative, which is fine. I don't care if somebody has a different opinion. If somebody has a different opinion, that is fine. It is not fine to sit there and criticize somebody because they have a different opinion. It's not. That's the problem. Like, I don't care if you think that the butcher or the baker did it with the candlestick maker. I don't give a fuck. That's fine. And there's a difference, and people don't understand that. And I'm here to define that. So anyway, I started listening, and then I started listening to Lady Justice Survivor Network, Miss Mensa. And she had this guest called Honey Badger on. And Honey Badger speaks my language. She speaks as fast as I do, and she speaks as boldly as I do. And I was like, wow, who is this Honey Badger woman, right? So anyway, I listened, and I was like, oh, okay. And then one night I was like, okay, I want to ask some questions. And so I went I went to Miss Mensa's channel, and I was really scared, and I didn't want my face to be shown because, like I say, I'm just too tired of hearing how fat and ugly I am. And so I asked if I could be on there without showing my face, and she was like, "Oh yeah, well here's another scumbag attacker, Star Mama. I mean, like, oh gosh, here we go again. It's another essay, and I don't know what the fucking essay is. I don't know. I'm like, I'm not an essay or whatever you are, or whatever." And I was like, "Can I?" And she's like, "Oh, look. Oh yeah, oh nice window, whatever. Oh, and look at this username. Yeah, nice with the C word in it. Yeah. Oh, okay, this one's gonna be good. Star drama. Star Mama was like, "Oh yeah, like this is gonna be great. Listen to this. Oh God." And I'm like, "I don't even know you guys. Oh my gosh, I'm sorry." And so I got on, and it was clear that they didn't like me. Didn't like my kind at all. And I said, the question I was trying to type, there wasn't enough characters, so I tried to backspace and do something else, and then it sent, and it was mess. So then she said I couldn't spell. And excuse me, ma'am, but I was the 5th grade state champion of spelling bee, but I had read British books because that's all there was at my great grandmother's house up in the friggin' attic. And so when I had to spell the word defense, I spelled it with a C, D-E-F-E-N-C-E, because that was the way that I had seen it written. And I got disqualified, so I did not make it to nationals. But when I went to my class, I came back up with a dictionary because the frickin' dictionary showed it spelled both ways, but everybody had already wrapped up, and they were like, "You're not going to nationals." I was like, excuse me, but in my defense, with a C or an S, but no. Okay. So anyway, I'm not the worst speller. In fact, I can't tell you the last time I misspelled something, but, so she called me an essay and a misspeller and everything. And I'm like, hi, and then, she couldn't understand my name, and I said, "Sorry, it's a long story. I troll somebody because they're mean to animals." And then Star Drama, I can't, why will that name not come out? Star Mama, said, "Oh, well, if she's an animal lover or defender, she should know this." I don't know, but they did not like me. Okay? It was clear. And so I talked for a while, and I was really fucking nervous because, well, you can tell when somebody doesn't like you. And it was just weird, and I don't know. I don't know. I've had death threats. I've had my computer hacked. My children growing up have been stalked mercilessly. I don't want to talk about how deeply our family has been affected with trolling right now. But I was suddenly being lumped in with somebody that she didn't like, and I don't know. So then I was on again because I said, "What was in those patches?" And then she was making fun of me and saying, "Oh yeah, what was in those patches?" Well, I don't know, honestly, and to this day they have not came out with what was in those patches, and I don't believe that they did a toxicology on him for his arrest. And I asked if there could be the possibility of him getting a defense, because if there was something I don't know how I did it, but she jumped my ass and said a defense after he confessed. And I'm like, "Oh, I'm sorry, Star Mama, don't kill me." She didn't like me. Okay. She did not like me at all. So then I kept trying because I was like, I don't know, what I did wrong, but I still have questions. And so I was on, I said something about the vacations. I said, well, she must have done something because she was able to go on all these vacations. You can't go on vacations and be in the sun. And she said that there wasn't actually any vacation, something to that effect. And I said, no, actually, I counted 6. So I had sent her that night in the email, I sent her, screenshots of the 6 that I could count. And then I was on to follow up with that, I think, on that. And also we were talking about MLMs, and I said that, I was a MLM hun to 2 brands, and one of them was Tupperware. And then I sent her the information because people didn't believe that Avon was an MLM. Avon was not historically an MLM, but it had changed, I believe, in the last 5 to 6 years is when it was rebranded, and it is honestly a true MLM. And so I had sent her that, and I asked her if she got the email, like the next time I was on or whatever. And she was looking at it, and she showed Star Mama, and I had screenshotted information about Avon. And in screenshotting, I was also still listening to her, and I was on my phone. So my screenshot showed a small thing of her co-host, Star, whatever, and her. And so they, Star and her both said that only scumbag attackers screenshot, and she didn't like it that I had her minimized in that, and that was really suspicious. And I said, I was listening to you while I was doing this, and I explained everything. I said I was getting the information for you to follow up on our conversation, and I sent it. And they both were like, nope. That's just what a scumbag attacker does. And I'm like, oh, okay, SA scumbag attacker. I'm like, I don't fucking know what that is, but okay. I don't know who all these people are. I don't know what an avocado is. I don't know who Dave is. I don't know. So all these people that she's talking about, she's linking me in with them, and I don't fucking know who these people are. And I just, tried to hold my own because I believed that in, being myself, I don't know. I don't know. She didn't like me. They don't like me. That's fine. So then I was stupid enough to go on again, and I was explaining deeply one night about how badly I had been attacked. And it began with the Kyron Horman shit. And she had a breakthrough. MM had a breakthrough because then she was like, wait a minute, are you saying that this is where this started? And I was like, yeah. I said, a lot of people still live off of the Kyron Horman story and all that they do with all of their world soldiers and universe defenders of Kyron and all that. No, yeah. And I can go deep in that, and I will one of these nights for you guys. It's really, really sad, some of the stories I can tell you about that. And so then she understood, and she was like, wait a minute, you really just made something make sense for me. And she said that, that's when, because she gets bad reviews on her books, and it's because she wrote a book about Kyron, and so that's what gets her book reviews bad, whatever. So, I said, oh, okay. And in my mind, I was thinking, okay, I don't know, of any book because I thought I'd read all of them. I had not read her book. So, that night after that, obviously I figured out her first name and whatnot. And, as with every time after I was on with her, I emailed her, follow-ups for what we said. And I introduced myself with my real name and whatnot because I'd figured out her real name and wanted her to know that, hey, obviously this would be a natural progression. This is how I found your name. This is who I am. This is what I've done. This is kind of, who I am, blah, 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 blah. My phone number, every fucking thing about me. So she can just squash me like a bug if she wants to. And I just thought that in me being forthcoming, she would, understand that I'm not who the fuck she thinks I am. I don't know. So then anyway, I think it was the next night I was on. Was it? I don't know because I sent, yeah, I think because then I was on and she said, what if SW was kind of more experienced and a man who, had a salary and could afford, somebody who was more experienced than he. And I was like, yes, I said, I exactly see where this comes from. And Poor Miss Vincent. Poor Star Drama. God damn. Why do I keep saying Star Drama? It's Star Mama, not Star Drama. I don't know why I'm having this problem. Dang it. Dang it, dang it, dang it, dang it. Anyway, those poor ladies had never heard such things as I told them that night. And I think it was 4 hours, and people were saying that I'm Honey Badger, and I was flattered because I aspire to be Honey Badger. I want to know where she went. Where'd you go, Honey Badger? Because I liked what you said. And so people were saying in the chat, and the chat was getting really excited. You know, here's the middle of the night. This chat had a lot of people in it, and it was a really good chat. It was very lively. They, you know, those two were cracking up, but I think I must have horrified them. I mean, they both are ladies, and maybe my knowledge of all that goes on in the underworld wasn't something they were prepared to know. I don't know. I don't know why they don't like me. So anyway, you know, we agreed that I was going to talk about Kyron Horman with her the next time and blah, 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 blah. And then something happened in my personal life that rocked my fucking world. And I needed a little time before I wanted to talk again. But didn't want to be weird because I already could tell she was suspicious of me for some shit. So I told her, I said, hey, you know, got some things going on. I, you know, don't think I have abandoned yet. I'm just going to be gone for a little while. And then I noticed that, you know, she wasn't acknowledging me. And some people were sending me screenshots of a couple people saying that they didn't trust me. And Star Drama said the same. Gosh dang it. What a Freudian slip. Said, yeah, I don't find her trustworthy either. And I didn't understand it. I, you know, still dumbass me keeps going on because I don't know. But anyway, I sent MM a link about the dangers of Tylenol on a young child and how it damages I think it's the area and the smooth grooves of the brain, something like that. You know, I did that, and I was backstage, you know, waiting to talk about it, and she read my email, you know, the information that I put in there about the Tylenol, so I knew that she saw my email. But she wasn't talking to me anymore. Okay. And I had put in there, it was right about that time where I changed my username to Tabitha Jane. I was chatting in Mia's, and Mia could not understand my username, and it was just too long, you know, and without knowing the backstory like I've just shared with you guys, it was just too long. So I made this username and, you know, made sure to tell MM about it right away because I don't know. They kept saying they didn't trust me. I don't fucking know. But anyway, I was on and I said, you know, hey, you know, I got this new username because it was easier for it to say and whatnot, you know, and I said, hey, you know, I was trying to do this and trying to understand the case more. And I said I was trying to learn it. I saw something from Lana and I think Straight Up Minds, and I can't remember who else I said. I think What's the Obsession, something like that, you know. And I was just talking. I think this is the way it went. You know, I'm sorry if I've got a little confused because it was all just blending together. I'm trying to figure out what happened. But then all of a sudden, it's fine. I was talking and Star Drama goes, read my email to her. And all of a sudden, click, I'm muted and I'm blocked. And I thought all this time that it was because I had maybe embarrassed them with the topic of all that goes on with Craigslist hookery and dungeons and all of the ins and out of escort life. So then, the other day, when I see that somebody put on their channel these things that they found, and they found them. That was theirs. I see the fucking Star Drama is over there acting like she was, just found a nut in a fucking squirrel turd. I mean, honestly, holding these things up like they're her own. And then the chat that went on, they were using exactly verbatim what I said. So they weren't embarrassed about what I said. I hadn't done anything wrong. But they don't know me, right? Very hurtful. It's very, very hurtful. I think that it's pretty shitty the way that I was treated. And I don't understand why I've been talked about like that, and that I'm not trustworthy and whatnot. The person who was doing that, who was saying that in the chat, that Star Drama was fucking agreeing with, the reason why that person doesn't like me is because I pointed out that she had been on another channel trying to do the same old crap, which is, oh, you're bashing murder victims, and then she was in Mensa's chat acting different. Oh, it's like, okay, that's kind of untrustworthy behavior. And I thought that by pointing that out to that, that would be showing that I'm obviously more trustworthy than that. But you know what? She picked her horse and it's not me. Okay? She has given shout outs to people that she did not mistreat. And you all heard me. Y'all know. Now, what's the backstory with this big honkin' punkin'? Well, when I was going through something very hard, like I said, I didn't think I'd ever stop crying or having panic attacks, and I saw this in a thrift store. It was the first thing that made me smile. And it just reminded me to a more simple time when I would draw pumpkins, like in first grade, you got a fresh smell of crayons and you color and you just make the pumpkins, the first pumpkins of fall, and it just reminded me of something good and pure and right. So I don't know. I don't like this. I don't like it at all. I mean, that's my story and I'm sticking to it. I don't know. I don't know how you can say that you don't know somebody and then the same person or the co-host of your thing says the same bullshit story. I mean, that's it though. That ends it. She doesn't know me. She doesn't want to know me. That's fine. It's deliberate. It's confusing, but this has to be it. She has made her decision, and I'm really disappointed. And yes, I'm not slipping up when I say star drama, because I feel that she had a bigger hand in this, and it makes me sick because I've been nothing but nice to her. And for me to continue to hear her saying that she doesn't trust me and all this, I don't get it. I don't get it. I will stay clear of their lane. I don't give a fuck who all these other people are and whatnot. They don't have anything to do with me. And that's it. That's all I know. Man, I do know. So with that, I'll put this up. How long will it be up? I don't know. You decide. All right, y'all. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.